Hey, 7th graders, I hope you're having a great day, whatever day it is that you're working on this. Last week, you guys did excellent with sending me all of your assignments and things. So keep up what you're doing. You're doing great. I'm very proud of you guys for continuing to work hard during all of this. All right, so we're on to a new week. This week, we're reading a short story called Earth. It's actually it's a pretty good story, I think. It's kind of funny. I laughed several times while reading it, so I hope you guys like it too. I really do think most of you will like it. But if you haven't read the story yet, pause the video, and then when you're done reading it, unpause it. It'll just make way more sense if you read it first. Okay, so this week you have 6 questions to answer in complete sentences after you get done reading this. Then you have a 12-question test just like usual. And then you have your spelling book, and then read your AR book. So we'll go over those again, but let's just jump into the story. So I'm not going to read it to you. It's pretty long. I know you guys can read it, but I really liked this story. I thought it was really funny. So it's called Earth, a Gift Shop. And if you kind of look at this little card thing, looks like a gift card. Here's Earth, and it says sale all around it, 10% special offer. So that kind of gives you a hint about what this guy, Charles, is going to talk about. He's actually written quite a bit of short stories. They're all science fiction. So science fiction means usually science fiction takes place in the future. This story takes place in the future. So it's not now. It's talking about a 1,000-year difference type thing. So 1,000 years in the future. But it's pretty funny. He's talking about, so a lot of people left Earth 1,000 or so years ago. But a few people were left on Earth. So they decided they wanted to do something with Earth. So they turned it into Earth, the museum, where they had, different things going on. And then they figured out that people really didn't care about looking at the art and the history. Their biggest thing that they wanted to do was actually ride the escalator, which is kind of funny. So then they changed it into Earth, the theme park, and gift shop. And from there, they had I think they said people kept getting sick on the rides and stuff. Now remember, this isn't real, this is science fiction, but we're just kind of going through the story. But anyway, Earth, the theme park, and gift shop, people kept getting sick on the rides and stuff, and so they decided that they were going to get rid of the theme park. It was too dangerous, and they were just going to change it into a gift shop, because that's the only reason people came to Earth anyway, was to buy souvenirs, which is kind of sad. And they're buying things instead of trying new experiences, which was kind of sad. But he is trying to give us an overall message in the story. I think, he's trying to tell us that we need to stop focusing on buying so much stuff. We don't need this stuff. Let's focus on, our family and our friends, and building those morals, those good morals that I know you guys all have, and instead of trying those superficial morals and where you just want to buy things. So that's kind of what I think the overall theme or message is. But yeah, so let's jump into the questions. All right, 6 questions. Not too bad. Remember, if I'm done talking about number 1 and you want to write down your answer, then just pause and write it down and then come back. Okay, number 1. What elements of science fiction does the story Earth, a Gift Shop have? Well, remember, it's set in the future, so there's a big one. It's talking about people traveling from planets to planets, so that's a huge science fiction element. And there are a couple more if you want to write those down, but just make sure you write one complete sentence with at least 2 different elements of science fiction, which I just gave you 2, so it shouldn't be a problem. All right, number 2. To whom might the narrator be referring when using the pronoun we throughout the story? So he says we a lot. We did this. We decided to do this. We are trying this. He says we a lot. Now, he's not referring to the people who left Earth, because he's still on Earth, right? They're trying to figure out what to do with Earth. So he's saying we as the people still on Earth. So the people that were left behind on Earth. Okay, number 3. In the list of top-selling items, what are some descriptions that convey ideas about today's consumer culture? So when Earth turned into, I believe, a gift shop, Maybe it was the museum. I think it was the museum. He listed, I think, 6 or 7 top-selling items. Now, if you read through those items, you kind of notice that most of them we still use today. Like, there wasn't any advance in them at all. So that's kind of telling us that our culture hasn't really advanced a lot, right? We still use, I think one was like t-shirts, cups, and keychains. We still use that stuff. So it's not really advanced anymore. Okay, number 4. The narrator tells how Earth, the planet, has undergone several name changes. What point might the author be making? So remember, first it was Earth, the planet, and then Earth, the museum, then Earth, the theme park and gift shop, and then Earth, the gift shop, and then finally it just said Earth equals merchandise. So he's trying to tell us, there was a few name changes in between there, but he's trying to tell us that how important we put marketing and merchandise on Earth right now. And he's even saying if we continue it, then it's still going to be that way in the future. When really, we need to focus on other things instead of buying things. Because just like we read in the poems last week, we buy things and we throw them away. So he's trying to make a point here. Take care of the earth. Take care of, focus on your family and your friends rather than buying things. So that's what all the name changes kind of mean, right? All right, number 5. What is the theme of the story? So I kind of already went over what I think the theme is. You could remember, there could be a few different themes that might come out of this story. So you can think something different, but what I think the theme is that the importance that we put on consuming things and buying merchandise is destroying, our civilization and replacing those deep moral values with those superficial ones. That's what I kind of think the theme is. You can think something different, but that's what I got out of reading this story. Okay, number 6. How does the narrator's use of language reveal the author's attitude toward the story topic? So the story's pretty funny to read, right? I thought it was funny. So he's using humor in the story, but do you think he's using humor to approve or disapprove of our modern consumer culture? He's not really saying like it's a good thing. It's almost like he's making fun of it, right? Through his humor. So that should help you out on number 6. I know I went super fast through those, but remember, pause if you need to. That's the beauty of this YouTube teacher. Okay, so those are the only questions you have to answer in this week, because I really want you guys to focus on getting those AR points. All right, when you're done with your 6 questions, you're going to do the test. We'll run through this real quick. Number 1, the narrator of the story wants to explain the history of Earth, compare Earth to other planets, describe the climate of Earth, or encourage people to visit Earth. So you can probably cross off B and C right away. Those don't make sense at all. But then you're stuck between A and D. Now, it's not really telling us the history. I mean, it brings up a few things, but is that its main goal? The narrator in the story he keeps changing the names to do what? What is he trying to do for Earth? Okay, number 2. According to the story, why did Earth become a gift shop? A, the museum and theme park attracted lots of customers. B, all people really wanted was to buy souvenirs. C, it was too hot to spend time outdoors. It was, I think, 170 degrees outside? That's crazy. D, people visited Earth to see where their ancestors came from. So you could probably cut out a couple of these, but if you're still struggling with finding the answer, it's in line 84, and there's like 2 words that go on to 85, but that should tell you right away. Number 3, what is the most likely reason why children are finished with school after 5 years? A, education has become more efficient. B, children have become more intelligent. C, there is little interest in learning. D, the children have to go to work. So keep in mind that all they really care about is buying things. They want those souvenirs. They just want to buy things. So do you think they really care about learning? Probably not. So which one would go best with that? 4. What is one element that shows the story is science fiction? So remember, science fiction usually is not in current time. It's usually years and years ahead of us. Just keep that in mind. A, it takes place in the future. B, it uses first-person narration. C, it includes humor. D, it expresses ideas about human nature. So just remember, it's usually not in current time, years and years ahead of us. All right, number 5. Let me get it so you can see it all. Number 5, why does the author include a list of our top-selling items for the month of October? So you can go back and look at that little section if you want to. A, to point out the dangers of overconsumption. B, to mimic an actual gift shop catalog. C, to demonstrate why the gift shop is so successful. D, to create suspense in the story. So right away, you know you can cross out C and D. Now you're just stuck between A and B. Now remember, the top-selling items were similar to what we still have today, what we can buy in different magazines and different stores. So keep that in mind as you're picking between A and B. Okay, number 6. What detail best shows people's attitude toward art and culture in this story? A, people were disappointed that there was not more to see on Earth. B, the theme park was too expensive and dangerous. C, the most popular part of the museum was the escalator ride. D, people brought to other planets their traditions from Earth. So just keep in mind, they didn't really care about the art and the culture of the story, or in this story. But if you still can't decide, look at line 61, and that'll tell you right away which answer it is. Giving you lots of hints there. Okay, so the rest of the 4 multiple choice are vocabulary. So if you want to go back and look at the vocabulary words as you're taking this test, that's fine. You're going to look at enterprising, mandatory, hypothesis, and misjudge. They're all in there, so you shouldn't have problems looking through that. All right, 11 and 12. Remember, 2 sentences on each, guys. 2 sentences. So 4 total. 11. What ideas about human nature are revealed in the story? Cite evidence to support your answer. So what ideas is he trying to tell us about our human instincts? What's he trying to tell us? Give me a couple of examples of that. 12. What is one way in which the author creates humor through tone and word choice? Cite evidence to support your answer. So I want you to pick out 1 or maybe 2 ways that the author uses, funny phrases, funny ideas, funny thoughts, and tell me what those are. Because he's using them on purpose, but I want to see which 2 that you kind of saw right away as funny, okay? All right, so that is the test. Remember, it's not really a test, but it's easier to call it that than saying Earth and gift shop multiple choice questions. So that's what you're doing this week. You're going to read the story, watch this video. I'll keep that in front of me. Read the story, watch this video, do the 6 questions on the back, then the test, and then you're going to do your spelling book, chapter 23, and then last but not least, your AR points are due this Friday, May 8th. Now, a few of you already have your AR points, and that is fantastic. Way to go. But if you don't, please, please, please work on those. That's why you don't have a lot of homework. I really want those AR points to get in because this is the last time you're going to have AR points due this year. So please get those in. As always, if you have any questions at all, email me. I will get back to you as soon as I can, I promise. Other than that, I hope you have a great day and a great week. I miss you guys, and I hope I get to see you guys soon.